Hello, my name is Nee and these are my diaries and this is my dog. So, not to sound really corny or anything, but I just thought I would say something about what going to Expo this year actually means to me on a personal level, because this time last year when I went to Expo for the first time, this is my third time going, I looked like this. And now I look like this. So yeah, except that in the first photo was actually taken in August, so I was even heavier in May. I was about a stone heavier than that, so just imagine that. But yeah, so I wasn't really big, but I was pretty big, and I've been that big for a long time. I've been overweight since I was about 10 years old, so basically for as long as I've been aware of my body, I've been aware of my fatness, and I've abruptly this year lost a lot of it, and a lot of that is kind of down to going to Expo last year in a kind of roundabout way. When I got to the Expo in May, I'd already made the decision that I really needed to start losing weight because I was 19, my 20th birthday was in July, and I just didn't want to spend the next 10 years like I'd spent the last 10 years. I was done. I was really sick of being overweight. I was really sick of disliking my body. My self-esteem, I didn't have any, it was non-existent. And so I decided that I needed to do that, but I was sort of having trouble starting, as a lot of people do, particularly I think in my case because I'd been overweight from such a young age. It was very difficult for me to know where to begin, to how to set in place any new habits, and to kind of picture myself at any other weight, which is really important when you're losing weight. You need to believe that you're capable of being another weight, and if you can't remember yourself ever being another weight, it's really difficult. If you don't believe that you can do it, then it's not going to happen because you're not going to bother. So I was trying, but I wasn't getting anywhere. And going to Expo actually really helped because I did it by myself. Because I went to see the Merlin cast, obviously, and they only announced that they were going to be there sort of a week before, so it was really last minute, and I just sort of made a snap decision to just go, and I couldn't find anyone to go with me, and it was just really rushed, but I got tickets to go. It was the day after my last exam, so I had my last exam on the Friday, and then on that evening I got on an overnight bus down to London, and I navigated the tubes for the first time. I'd never been in London on my own before. I'd been in London twice before, but never on my own, and the last time I'd been there was like 2 years ago. And I navigated the tubes on my own, and I got there and I was catatonic with exhaustion, but I had the best time, and I met people who I'd only ever met online before, and I was surrounded by people who seemed to be like me, and I just felt so comfortable in my own skin, and it was one of the few places where I'd ever genuinely felt comfortable looking the way I did, feeling the way I did about my body and who I was. 'Cause I didn't like who I was. It wasn't just about who I looked, it was about who I was. I didn't like that person, and that's just what bad self-esteem will do to you. It fucks you up. But so yeah, and getting there and then getting back all on my own, it was exhausting, but in a really nerdy, geeky, sad way. It was a huge amount of fun, and it was really good for me because it proved to me at 19 that I could make decisions for myself, and I could do whatever the hell I wanted to do if I put my mind to it, even if it was really scary, which doing stuff like that it is for me. I hate going into situations that I don't know anything about in advance. I hate going into social situations where I don't know anyone. And so many things could have gone wrong, and I was so paranoid that I actually had about 50 quid stuffed into my socks in case I got mugged, because I've been mugged before is what it is. I was mugged in Chiang Mai in Thailand on my gap year. This tooth is fake. It's the old one was knocked out of my face by a mugger, so yeah. And it was really scary, but it was so good. And it was so good for me to prove that I could do it. And I think that was really the point in the year last year when I realised that I could do whatever I wanted to do if I tried hard enough. And if I could do that, then I could lose weight. And lo and behold, I did. And I have lost 6 stone since last year, which is more than 80 pounds. It's 84. It's yeah. Thereabouts, 84 pounds I think, and I'm a size 10 or 12 depending on where I shop. BHS thinks I'm an 8, Topshop thinks I'm a 10, I'm a 12, because they are mean bastards, but but yeah. And like for all my life I was an 18, so that's huge for me, or little depending on how you look at it, but yeah. So Expo kind of saved my life in a way. It certainly saved me from heart disease, which has killed pretty much everyone else in my family in the last couple of generations. And I'm so much healthier and I'm so much happier, and I think Expo was a huge part of that catalyst. There were other things going on before that, but Expo was the last sort of little thing that I needed, the last push. And so going back is actually going to kind of be a bit emotional this time, because I've been back in October, but we were there on the Sunday and it's not quite the same thing. Being back in May on the Saturday and doing it all properly and being there with friends who I've made this year as a result of becoming a bit more confident and going out a bit more, and yeah, it's going to be really good. And I'm really glad that I did it last year, and I'm really glad to be doing it again. So yeah.